Today I unbox and assemble a KTool International adjustable work table. The first part of unboxing these tables is to assess the quality of the packaging. These usually come in a little more beat up than I'd like to see, and this one is no exception. You can see how the box has been compromised, the tape has been pulled off the box. There's a lot of compression to the box, a lot of some accordion type treatment, which really beats this stuff up. One of the protective bands, the one that's supposed to be on this side, is gone. It's entirely possible that there has been damage to the table itself, and if that's the case, I just tell my my rep that I buy these from, and he can give me a credit that I can pass along to the customer if they want a discount, or if it's bad enough, we just have them issue us a return label and we'll ship it back off to them. But we have to open it up first to see what condition it's actually in. Sometimes some of the smaller sheet metal pieces bend, and that's something that we can usually correct pretty quickly if we just take a pair of smooth draw pliers and straighten them back out. Sometimes I have to hammer out a bend if it's bad enough, but usually we can get through all that. It's usually where the finish is chipped, or if there's a bend that's bad enough. Sometimes the bends are kind of sharp and I can't undo them without doing a little more damage to the finish. If that's the case, we'll get a discount on them, or if it's bad enough, we return them. So let's take it out and look to see what shape it's in. Well, the packing material's been all busted up here. Normally these are all in one piece, but you can see they've all been torn apart, bashed up, and beat up. These parts are all kind of laying strewn about. Ideally, you'd like to see these things well organized, nicely aligned within the box, because the styrofoam pieces at least have shapes in them that conform to the pieces that are supposed to be cradled in them, but this is typical of how these things come. And we've mentioned it a number of times to our suppliers, but there's only so much they can do. It ultimately comes from the factory this way, with where they pack them. And there have been occasions where that's been an issue with other products, to the point where our suppliers have questioned the relationship. But these keep coming in, and as long as they come in good enough, then we're able to sell them pretty quickly. You can see the box is kind of falling apart here. That end there was just kind of hanging on by a thread, and when I opened it, there's just a little tab of cardboard that tore away. But the idea of having packing materials that they protect it against this stuff, and that if it breaks apart, it breaks apart. We'll see how good a job it did. This is the box here that has the bolts and casters and washers. These never really come in damaged, but you got to make sure all your bolts and washers are there. That looks pretty good. So the first thing we'll do is inspect this for damage. I look for dents, dings, scratches in the finish, or anything that would either reduce its resale value or make it unsellable entirely. This is one half of the base here. The casters go here, and this slides into a tube on the other half of the base. This looks like it's in good shape. This is the down tube that the top tube slides into, and this is the set screw that you use to adjust it with. This is also in pretty good shape. This is another part to the base that bolts to the down tube I just showed you, and the two other casters go here. And this is also in pretty good shape. But rarely do we find damage to the base components. Usually the damage we find is to the top. But we'll get to that last. Here we've got the down tube. This never gets damaged. This is a pretty heavy piece of metal. Where we find the damage to the top, because this is the thinnest gauge metal, and the corners go right up against the corners of the shipping carton, and they're not padded, so usually there's a dent or a ding or some kind of deformation to the sheet metal on the top. And these are the rubber pads that go on top. I remove these because we'll put these on last. And there's the one big pad and then the three smaller pads for the compartments. Alright, here's where we want to look. We want to look at all the corners here, here, this one here, and this one here. It's a little difficult to see, but that's been a little bit deformed. Nothing we can't fix with a set of pliers. Everything else looks pretty good. So on these, I use the Knipex pliers wrench because these are a smooth jaw set of pliers, and these are not going to harm the finish. And just grab on these and bend them just a little bit, and that's usually plenty to get that where it needs to be. There it is. And then if you also notice this piece here is a very thin partition. It's tack welded, but sometimes it'll get dinged where something pushes that out. It's just bowed out. We'll just push that back just a little bit. And there you go. And this is perfectly sellable the way it is right now. This is in perfectly good enough condition to sell it as new. I don't have to ask for a discount, and no one's really going to complain when they see it. It's going to look just fine. All right, this part goes off to the side until later. We're going to use the bag that the top came in and put all our styrofoam trash in it. It really doesn't matter the order that you go in assembling this stuff. I like to put the casters on first. They give you this little flat wrench. This is necessary because there's a bolster at the base of these casters that require this size flat wrench. Other than that, I use a small impact driver and a 13 and a 17 millimeter socket for everything else. So here's how the flat wrench goes at the bolster here. Just hold it like that, and then you just drive that nut in. Done. And then the other two casters go here. The tube here has a tapped hole. There's a set screw that holds this into the other tube of the base. Just make sure you put the casters on the underside, otherwise they'll be upside down. There's 8 bolts that come with this that are all the same size, and then there's one that's a little bit larger. This one goes to keep the two halves of the base together, and then has a larger split washer with it that goes over the curved washer that conforms to the shape of the tube. And so you swap out the 13 millimeter for the 17 millimeter socket. Everything else is a 13. Alright, the base is assembled. The only other thing to do is to bolt the down tube onto the top. Now there is a right and a wrong way to do this. If you notice, the down tube has this slot in it. That's where the tip of the set screw goes. And the top is offset from the base in order to allow the consumer to get it close to the vehicle, so the top overhangs the engine compartment a little bit. So the notch here goes adjacent to the drawer, like that. That way when it goes on, the top is off center from the base. And then we insert the down tube into the base. This is a little awkward. I always have to use my shoulders to help out. And then we just put the rubber pads on. These 3 smaller ones go in the compartments along the back. And it's the main one. There you go. now that was sufficiently awkward and moving in a confined area with the thing on a tripod, I'll show you the drawer. There it is, as I bang into stuff. It's smoother when I have room. These tables are manufactured by Sunx and sold under different brands. Sunx does sell them under their own brand. You can also buy them under the ATD brand, which is the house brand for a tool distributor called Medco, and these KTool ones, which is the house brand for a company called ISN. Both Medco and ISN are large tool distributors that sell to retailers like myself and storefronts and other folks who retail this stuff to the end consumer. Some people mistakenly think that ATD is the manufacturer. That's not the case. That's just a house brand for Medco, and KTool the same for ISN. Who are these tables best suited for? Well, just about anybody, because no matter where you are in your career, you will gain benefit from the organization and efficiency that you realize when you use one of these tables. You can take a subset of tools out of your cart or your box, lay them out neatly on the table so that you can reach for the tool that you need without even taking your eyes off your work. Those few seconds you save translate to a few minutes per car, and those few minutes translate to a few hours, which over the course of a week, a month, or a year, translate to seeing or working on that many more cars. And if you are flagging hours for a living, that efficiency translates into real money in your pocket. And if you're not flagging hours and you work on either a flat hourly rate or salary, you will still gain efficiency and save yourself some time by using one of these tables, particularly if you're a diesel technician. If you're up high in an engine compartment, adjusting these up to their 48-inch height will allow you to keep tools at an arm's reach when you're way up there, or if you're an automotive technician hunched over the engine of a car, roll these things right up to the grill, extend the top over the engine bay so that you can reach over without looking and grab the tool you're needing. Now stay tuned, because in the future we've got lots more videos on humongous tool hauls that we're doing in our Tools in the Hall segment, as well as some other unboxing videos where I go over the new Milwaukee high-speed ratchets and their extremely popular 2-piece impact kit. So do me a favor, click down here now to subscribe so that you don't miss any of it. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, use a tool. Don't be one.